Morning to you this morning, Hugh, as well. How are you? How's your weather in Visio this morning? Okay, let's have a look at that first news item this morning then. This isn't exactly hot off the press. It came out earlier in the year, and I think it might have been while the show was having a little sleep. No, I think we were back on air. But I missed this, and I saw a lovely mention of it from the lovely lady who is My Beautiful Country on X, formerly Twitter. And this is about TAP being the safest airline in Europe, which is good to know. I know TAP gets a bit of stick from time to time, as in TAP stands for Take Another Plane. However, good reason to fly TAP. Moves up to 11th place in the world ranking. So it's risen there in the world ranking of safety. In 2025, TAP reclaims its place as Europe's safest airline in the top 25 of the world's safest carriers drawn up by Airline Ratings. And this is from their own press release at tapairportugal.com. The 25, and I think this is interesting as well to see they're not. I guess we shouldn't see it so much as a competition as a ranking, and see if your favorite airlines are in there. 25 safest airlines in the world for 25 are in order. In number one, Air New Zealand. Qantas is number 2. Cathay Pacific, Qatar Airways, and Emirates. They are the 3 ex-IQO, apparently. I don't know what that means, but they must be part of the same group there. 4 Virgin Australia, 5 Etihad Airways, 6 ANA, never heard of them. ANA, is that Australian National Airways, something like that? EVA Air at number 7, 8 Korean Air. How many of these have you flown? 9 Alaska Airlines. They must have to deal with a lot of cold weather conditions there, right? Each of these airlines having a speciality, I suppose. 10 Turkish Airlines, THY, and 11 TAP Air, followed closely by Hawaiian Airlines. And I was thinking, there's not many American airlines in there, are there? But they come in at 13 American Airlines, as in the name of. And we've got United at 23 and Delta at 21. And interestingly, I think all of these airlines do have pet names. Should we call them pet names or nicknames, which are a little bit of a passive aggression towards them from some customers on some occasions. But well done, TAP, on being the safest in Europe and 11th safest in the world. It doesn't say how many airlines there are altogether in the world there, does it? Anyway, 11th out of what, I wonder? Very wet, cold, windy morning here in the southeast of England. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, gentlemen, unless you like it that way. But that seems to be the way of things. And, do you know how hard it is to find out a general news item on what's going on with the weather at the moment? I realized that I get a lot of my news from X because I like to be able to search for the topic that I'm interested in. And then I hope I've chosen a range of people who will approach it from different angles among my, likes and preferences on Twitter. And I was thinking there's bound to be something about the weather in there. Or it usually comes under the name of the storm, doesn't it? That's currently ravaging a part of Europe. Certainly that's the bit that I'm looking at most often. Nothing today. And maybe that's because there's always seems to be a storm now. Every week, your weekly storm. I mean, they do obviously vary in intensity. And this one at the moment, and I can't, was it a Spanish name? Possibly. And I've got a red triangle. It's a bit like the news crying wolf as well, isn't it? We are. I don't know if the threshold has been changed such that what should be getting our attention in the news has been lowered significantly. But I'm seeing a wind warning this morning, and I'll have a look at the weather now. Then let's go see what's happening with the weather in our own estimation here, shall we? So there you go. Well done, TAP, and let's have a look, see what the weather's doing on our Good Morning Portugal Spartan FX weather. I was going to call them Spartan FM then. What a great idea that would be. What is the first track you'd be likely to hear on Spartan FM? Money, money, money. Must be funny in a rich man's world. Are those the lyrics? I should know them. I sang them on stage once. Right, let's have a look at our very own website where we're still celebrating Green and Red Monday. It's still Green and Red Monday, funnily enough. Yes. Right here, if you're in Portugal, you are experiencing Green and Red Monday. Morning, John. Bom dia, Portugal, from João Ernesto de Norte as well. Yeah, your colleagues up there in the north have gone even further north, and we'll find out how they're doing. That'll be Bob and Viv. And if we can't speak to them directly, we'll get a lovely slideshow of their time up there in Edinburgh at the very least. I thought it was hilarious when Bob was explaining to the Nando staff that, that they lived only minutes really away from Barcelos, where the Nando's mascot comes from. The staff were like, "What are you talking about?" They had no idea what he was talking about, which must have been an interesting moment for Bob and Viv. Doesn't matter. I'll just have me chicken and chili sauce, please. Bon dia, rapaziada from JMC. How you doing, JMC? What's up, John? Do I need to pick up the pace, or is that just how you're feeling this morning? Huge rainfall, 56 millimeters in the It is that sort of morning, isn't it? It really is. Morning, John. Sleepyhead. Huge rainfall, 56 millimeters in the last 24 hours. My goodness. That means 56 liters of rain in 1 square meter. The river is raging. That's not a metaphor. He's got a river. Have you got a couple of rivers meeting at the bottom of your garden there? Yes, of course. Tres rios. 3 rivers right there. And they are, well, I guess they're all raging right now. Okay, let's have a look at this weather then. And we're going to go to our weather page. You can see this at goodmorningportugal.com/weather, where you can get your free copy of the Moving Money to Portugal guide. What's happening? Has Trump changed the currency very much? For those of you who keep an eye on that, as the inauguration and second term of Trump really changed things very much currently, or has he not? Has he not rattled his saber in that department just yet? 17 degrees in Lisbon will be the high today. It's currently 16, and a rainy day. Been looking at this, haven't we, for the last week, and it's been rain forecast for us for some way into the future. Definitely not a sunny day yesterday on my tally. I must have changed that again on my tally. We had a good run of days with sunshine. Definitely none yesterday. It was quite the wet and windy day here in Leiria. And with the sun returning at the end of the week. So there you go. So a warm, sunny Saturday, possibly. Forecast so far. Porto, 14 degrees with scattered clouds. The high today of 15. And the temperature dropping tomorrow to 12. Coming back up again for Friday, where it may well be sunny up there in the north. Coimbra, 13 degrees currently. Overcast with clouds. Rising to 16 today. And rain today, tomorrow. Right through until Friday, Saturday, where it may be sunny. Faro, misty this morning, 18 degrees the high today, currently 17. And Braga, 11 degrees, currently overcast with clouds, rising to 14. Excuse me, and it'll be 11, 10, and 15 until Friday, 15, bringing sunshine on Friday at the end of the week. Aveira, similarly, as I scroll down, we are looking at sunshine returning towards the end of the week, is the overall estimation here for Portugal. And then briefly on the autonomous regions, on the islands, on the archipelagos, 16 degrees the high today for the Azores. Mark Ladelmeyer, it was lovely to hear from you on Facebook, who lives over there in the Azores, and I think has a fabulous guest house. If you're looking to stay with a Gumper over in the Azores, the wonderful Mark Ladelmeyer is over there. 16 degrees, rainy in the Azores, and as far as the eye can see, I think until Sunday, when it's still going to be cloudy, but not raining at least, a bit of a respite from the rain. Madeira, currently 8 degrees, will rise to 16. That's a nice rise. Who doesn't like a nice rise first thing in the morning? And Tuesday, sun returning earlier then in Madeira than the rest of the country. Tuesday and Wednesday, nice sunny days, 13 and 14 degrees respectively. Don't forget, if you go over to our weather page, you can have a deep dive on the community weather stations of Barrack in Central and Phil on the Silver Coast. Good to see you on Saturday, Phil and Maria. For a somewhat poignant occasion, our friends the Kings were having a leaving do, and it was lovely to give you a proper send-off, the Kings. Some of you here, I think, João Ernesto, you may remember Leaf and Susan. They're returning to the United States soon, and we wish you all the best to you both. Wow! Yesterday was buckets of chuva. Buckets of chuva. That sounds like, I was thinking this morning, what Are there any wine ninjas here? What wine are we doing on the first Monday of February? Buckets of Shuva, buckets of Vino sounds like we already did that though, didn't we? We did wine boxes. Was that the last one we did? Yeah, I think it was. What did we decide to do for the first Monday of February? Does anyone remember? JMC, paregar a batata. What does that mean? I look like a potato? Pa regar a batata. Do you know what? I might need to. I can't cut and paste from comments. JMC, let me know what that means. And we've also got, we'll do a little bit of lingo. Maybe you can help us, JMC, this morning. There go the 300 days. No, not yet. Who sold it? Made buckets of money. Stop it, Jay. You're another 300 days cynic, I wonder. Talking about Portuguese culture, I seem to have rattled the cultural cage with my video of, well, first of all, asking people the right way to eat a pastel de nata. It was this was the picture that started it all, that flashed across social media about a week ago. I decided to try it myself. And it was a fairly popular video, I have to say, of oozing custard running down my hands. And then I'm getting messages coming in as well, telling me I think I prefer the stuffing it in me gob way. And if I stop that, if I stop the ticker tape for a moment here on the Bon Dia Daily, ahead of James, who's joining us in about 5 minutes, apparently you are an auntie from Cascais. No, not you, James. You're an auntie from somewhere else soon, I think. Apparently, you are an auntie from Cascais if you eat it like that. And I can see the tears of Cascais eating a pastel de nata. They're pastéis. And actually, nobody's corrected me on that yet, because I've been calling them pastels de nata in a very English way. And of course, they should be pastéis in the plural. I'm getting the nod from James. Muito bem. Right. So there you go. That's the way the Tias de Cascais eat their pastel de natas. And most of the Dream Team Town Hall panel. And it would appear, and I think I'll have to write about that in the Portugal Resident this week. It would appear the country is torn and divided. What? How is the country torn and divided? Overeating. Long may it continue. That be the worst problem this country has, is arguing over the best way to eat a pastel de nata. So there you go. How do you eat yours? Do you like to spoon? I'm getting the feeling a lot of Portuguese people do like to spoon. They just don't like to admit it necessarily. Right. Bon Dia Daily Deal. Thank you very much. I was thinking to myself, why didn't I do this before? A deal for you every day of some kind. Isn't that a great idea to share with you a deal? And we had Colleen Showalter kicking things off with a 5% off service packages over at Portugal the Place on Friday. And this, we continue with Green and Red Monday, of course, and good news. Or is it? What do you think of this? Your Bon Dia Daily Deal today, something I saw in Intermarché yesterday. Now, I want one of these coffee machines, and the Greta Thunberg inside me recoils at the idea of creating loads of plastic waste. And I still want one. And I just don't know. Stop it, James. I still want one. And I saw this deal yesterday. There's a time and a place for these. They're already made. All the coffee's already made, isn't it? In those plastic pots. All these machines are made. And one of them is currently on sale. The Intermarché own brand. Por si. There you go. There's a bit of language for you. For you. Por si. Now, they're preços baixos. They're low price. Todos os dias. Everyday low prices at Intermarché Por si. They have got a coffee machine here. Talk about a daily deal. 31 euros and 90 centimos of your dinero there. And you get, not only do you get the machine for that, you get 128 capsules, which by my mathematics makes the coffee. I mean, how many days would that last you? If you have 2 coffee shots a day, that's 2 months of coffee for 32 euros. We still haven't got a name. Colin was joking when he said the nickname for the euro is the Deutschmark. I think that's hilarious, but it's not what you say, is it? Like quids or bucks. Why has the euro not got a nickname? Anyway, but for nearly 32 of them, you're getting a coffee machine, 128 capsules, which is 25 cents a cup, folks. That is a daily deal if ever I saw one. I'll be very surprised if there's any of those left. It might even be one of those deals where you think, that's too cheap. There must be something wrong with that. And I think that's a good deal if you're on holiday, isn't it? Buy one of those at the start of your holiday, and you've got coffee at 20. Another thing to boast about being in Portugal. Hey, look at this lovely hot, lovely. Well, it should be sunny out there, but it's wet and windy at the moment. But I'm getting a cup of coffee for 25 cents each shot. In your holiday apartment when you're playing cards all day because it's raining at the moment. But I think that's quite extraordinary. Almost disposable, you might say, at which point James will shake his head again. I think. Right, so there's your Bondia daily deal. Right then, not sure we're going to hear from Bob and Viv this morning, are we? Because I think they're on the move, and we will be moving. Oh, it's 20 past. It is time to let him out. I was going to say, bring him onto the screen. The beast that is James. Just a quickie then. This is what I wanted to ask you. We're having our little phrases, which I think are quite helpful. Great phrases to chuck into your vocabulary and your interactions. Javi, I've seen it. Didn't get a chance to turn my avatar into saying this, but JMC, is this right? And I think this is what a shop assistant said to me the other day as he took me to the back of the shop to exchange my keyboard and mouse, which I'm now using now. Vai comigo, come with me. I mean, he's saying go with me, but vai comigo, is that correct? And should we be using that, scholars of Portuguese? I think your well-being news is going to have to be well-being for your wallet this morning, because it's time to bring, which is the 25 cents a coffee deal, it's time to bring James on.